Good afternoon everybody and welcome to the Stamps by Me YouTube channel. This is Sunday Chill at 1 o'clock and my name is Claire Manning from Thirsty Brush. I'm going to be showing you some ink blending and heat embossing techniques today using our Thirsty Brush designs, so I hope you enjoy that. Do subscribe to the channel as well. There's tons of inspiration here on Tony's Stamps by Me channel. You've got her videos, you've got mine from Thirsty Brush, you've got Carly with Marla and Simon with Avogo Ink, so tons to get going on there. I'm going to start off today with a blank piece of white card. This is one, I've trimmed it slightly smaller than an A5 and I'm using these beautiful sentiment stamps that we had recently that are on our website as well. I'm using the Love one because I want something really bold. It's going to be a lot of colour on this, so I want the sentiment to be black and really bold. I'm just deciding where to position it. Hope you're all having a lovely relaxing day. You've got maybe a cup of tea with you and just a relaxing Sunday. I love doing the Sunday ones and chatting to you all. Everybody seems to have lots of time and just really enjoy getting some inspiration and something different. So I've put some anti-static powder down. Now this stamp is really bold and like a big bold font. So I am going to make sure I go in a couple of times with my embossing ink just to make sure absolutely every single little bit of that is covered. I want it really, really smooth. So let's get that powder on. Don't forget to hit the bell as well if you haven't already after subscribing, because that will tell you when we upload more videos, so you'll get to be notified straight away. So I'm using True Black and this gives a lovely smooth black finish, like really shiny. And I'll just grab my heat tool to heat set that. Sorry, just plugging in my heat tool there. Okay, and you can see really nice and shiny as well. So the next thing to do is I want the image, I'm going to stamp some flowers and I want those to be in white and I want them to stand out in white against the coloured kind of blended ink that I'm going to do. So I've picked up the Blossoms stamp set that a lot of you bought recently. So this is really nice to do kind of coming onto your page. We'll do a bit of anti-static, but it's not as essential here because, yes, I do want it a nice crisp image, but if there's an odd little bit, it's not going to do me any harm. And I'm going to, stamp this in the embossing powder and then put some white, stamp it in the ink and then put white, the pure white embossing powder. So I've got some at the top there, just make sure it's got all of it. And then I'm just going to, before putting the powder on, just want to move this up a little bit. And I'm going to have some come in from the bottom as well. Just kind of creeping onto the page. Okay, just grab my piece of paper again to catch my powder. And I've got, like I say, the pure white. So you can just about see that. Be able to see it better once I heat set, and then obviously the point of this kind of technique is to that it will pop out when you put the colour on. Ooh, nearly knocked that off the table then, didn't I? I'm so clumsy with these. Right then, let's get the heat tool out again and set that. And again, it's a really nice shiny powder. Make sure it's all really set. So don't worry that you can't see it too much now, as soon as we add some of that lovely ink on. So just want a piece of scrap just to use underneath. Okay, and I'm going to use my absolute favourite kind of trio of inks here, these colours. Whenever I put them together, I just think they're fab. I've got Distress Oxides, but you can use normal Distress inks or any kind of blendable ink. Don't feel that you've got to use these, but this colour combo really does work lovely. I've got some ink blenders here. Really do with some larger ones and all my Stamps by Me brushes, but they're still in my unit at the moment, all packed up. So I'm just thinking of what order. What I want to do is, I've done this technique for a while, is do kind of diagonal. So I'm just deciding how I want them to kind of go into each other. Yeah, let's use peacock feathers in the middle. So I'm going to start off with the middle one so I can kind of judge how much of the page I want to do. So come in from the edge. And don't worry about going over your words or anything like that, or how well it's blended right now. Or just get some colour on. Don't worry that it's even starting to dull any of your black. I'll show you a easy way to get rid of that after. I just want it in a kind of diagonal coming on and off the card. And you see the flowers starting to pop out? Okay, so it's getting there with the colour. Just want to go over now and blend it out a little bit better. Again, because we're doing quite a large area, a larger brush or sponge doorbell would work better here, but it's not to worry. Just take a little bit of extra time, that's all. Okay, so I think I'm going to start bringing in the other colours now. So I'm going to do the green at the top here. Keep this one out though, because it's always good to go back on your blending. So this is the cracked pistachio. Like I say, I just love these colours together. They're just awesome. And there's that blossom design really coming out now with the white. But if you look at it and you're thinking, oh, that's looking a bit greeny and a bit dull now, don't worry, we'll fix that after. You can stamp and heat set over the top of these inks, but you've just got to really make sure they're dry, either with a heat tool or with just leaving them to dry, because they're quite wet as they blend on. If you just did it straight over and stamped and embossed, you would just have powder everywhere and it wouldn't be showing that lovely design. So those colours are blending in nicely. Might just sneak a little bit of green down here, because I just feel that's quite a large area. And then let's blend in some of the lovely purple now. Don't worry that that isn't too smooth, because again we're going to do something that will make that look completely smooth, no problem. Just these vibrant colours are just gorgeous. And there's that other lovely white flower. Just taking it up to, not going too far into the peacock feathers. I don't want to turn all that purple. I'll probably come in with the dauber from the peacock feathers. When you've got a more prominent colour like that, I tend to find when you blend in, take it up to it and then go back in with the one that's less prominent. So in this case, the peacock feathers, and blend in from that way, rather than your more prominent into the lighter. Just seems to work a little bit better. So the same here as well. Okay, so I think I'm done with the colour. Like I say, it's not perfectly blended, but that's absolutely not a problem at all. So what we're going to do is, to stop it looking too flat and give it some extra texture and interest, I'm just going to grab some water and do some little splashes with my fingers. You can do this with a brush if you want. So if I go in with a paintbrush and do some splatters. The reason I like it with my fingers and varying the height is that you get loads of different size kind of droplets. And then just get a bit of kitchen roll or a cloth that I'm using here. Let it sit for a second and then dab it off. And again, you can do this with distress inks or oxides. I just like the kind of chalkiness that the oxide gives, and I just think it's more dramatic, the water effects. and give you that kind of faux bleached-y kind of look. So just keep going until you're happy with the texture that you've got. Okay, and then the final thing to do on this piece is to, where the ink has gone over the embossing powder, you just kind of dulls it a little bit, get your heat tool back out. Just run back over. Not for too long, you don't want to burn it or anything like that. It just kind of melts it again. Just kind of melts it and brings back that lovely shine of the embossing powder if your inks have dulled it a little. So I'm really happy with the colours there. Like I say about the blending, because once you add the texture on with the water, you know, you don't have to be the most perfect ink blender, but I really like how they go into each other. So I'm just going to make this onto, and it's like a one-piece flat card as well, isn't it? Which is really nice for a change, particularly if I always think if you're sending cards in the post, I like to keep them more flat, because then you just pay your normal stamp postage, don't you? So I'm just putting a bit of gold card onto a black A5 card blank, just to give us, because we've only got like 2 colours really in there, well 3 colours, just to bring it together a little bit. I always think if you add a little bit of metallic, or if you're not sure when your card is finished, add a bit of black and a bit of metallic and you are there. Kind of brings everything together, I think. Just holding it really flat for a second because this card has been heat set a lot and had water, and it's been absolutely abused, this piece of card, you know, considering it was just completely plain white. So I like to really hold it stick in case it, you know, sometimes you got a tiny bit of warp and then they just don't sit flat. Or another trick is that I just put my Eureka over for a few minutes after. So there we go, really colourful, really bright, tons of texture. And another way to use maybe some of your floral elements that you don't need to colour in individually, but still make it a stunning card. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will be back on Thursday with another one of these demonstrations and live chat. Do follow my YouTube account as well, Claire Manning Craft, because I'm doing a daily watercolour video for you from the 1st to the 25th of December. So take care of yourself, guys, and I will see you Thursday.